Hello, I'm Wayne Garrett, General Manager for Chief Ethanol Fuels. And in this video, we talk about the Hastings Storage Expansion Plan for the 2026 harvest and a culture built on growth and innovation.
Okay, thanks for joining us at Husker Harvest Days today. We'll open up our third video talking about ethanol. And we've got some exciting changes relating to grain storage coming at the Hastings ethanol plant. So we wanted to talk about that a little bit. Wayne, can you explain the new grain bin expansion and why it's important for the 2026 harvest, what we're looking at?
Yeah, it's something we're very excited about. We have about 3 days storage, and so we're going to go to about 33 to 34 days worth of storage there at our Hastings facility, which is much needed. And we get to show off the work and the craftsmanship of Chief Agra and everything going in there. But we're going to replace, starting with a whole new scale house, road, scales, probe shack, into our receiving pit. We'll receive well over 60,000 bushel an hour, that capacity. And as a result, it should create good throughput for us at harvest season and then throughout the year. So we've got ample supply. And not only that, then we're taking our first steps at the beginning of our process. The first step for us is milling and slurry mixture. And so that whole process is a brand new piece that'll go in as well. We're very excited about that, to have this tower put up to measure, to distribute, to mix, and to create our slurry mixture all vertically rather than taking the product up and down a couple of times. So Brent, what does the expanded production or capacity going to mean like for production in our costs and how that should affect our future now and in future harvests?
Right. So I think about it from the farmer's perspective, and I don't think that this has any direct impact on farm considerations for should I put up a bin or how am I going to fill my bins or anything like that. But what it does do, and really the biggest change will be that this makes us a more attractive option as a delivery point to receive grain. In the past, there's been a lot of times if you're delivering at the Hastings plant, maybe we're shut off at noon on a Friday, maybe even noon on Thursday sometimes, just because we're full. We don't have any more bin capacity. And there's other times where we really need corn and we have to open up on Saturday in order to keep the plant running through the weekend. We're hoping that having this excess storage capacity will make us more able to be a steady and reliable delivery point with predictable hours. And ultimately, that makes us a better option for farmers delivering corn into our plant.
Maybe as you're talking to growers and you explain what's happening with our expanded storage, what are some of the advantages you see for them and how do you explain that to them?
One of their big reasons why they don't like delivering to us is our lines and having to cross back on the highway to get back into the main plant. With that being able to go away, they are much more excited about that option and being able to move through the lines quicker so they can get back to what they need to do at their farms and play off that.
Yeah, we're going to have way quicker unloading capacity than we have right now. We're hoping a truck should be able to pull into the pit, dump, and be off the pit in 2 minutes or less, depending on how long. Really, the long pole is going to be getting out of the truck and opening the traps. So that'll be very exciting.
We're hoping to cut down from our 2-hour wait times at some points during harvest and make it quicker and so they can get back.
And so what is some of the response that you hear from people as you talk about that?
Excitement. Lots of excitement that there is an option so close to some of these farms that they will be able to get back and forth faster and be able to harvest quicker and get done faster.
Wayne, so GM talk here, you talk a lot about best-in-class operations, best-in-class solutions. What does that mean for the way that the plant is evolving in Hastings?
Yeah, well, really in any business, what you look at how well you do things and then how well it's done in the industry and then how it could be. And you look at all those things. So as we look at it today, we realize that there's several things that we've gone from initial starter beginning of the industry out there with our 40 plus year legacy at Chief Ethanol to today. Maybe some of this stuff is lagging for us. And so we need to reinvent ourselves, to modernize and to do some things. So we're starting with this receiving, along with a whole bunch of other things following this. But this receiving gets us into the base line, if you will, stratosphere to be able to handle 30 days of supply, gives us a lot of flexibility. So we're not dealing with a lot of the problems and issues that come up with weather or people not being able to come when we need them to come. We are so dependent on people showing up at that time. And it just makes it harder for everybody throughout. Our logistics problem is so much bigger than it should be. and it's self-induced. And so tomorrow in the future, we're looking at something that's going to be easier to get us across from a day-to-day operation, take a lot of pressure off.
One of the things that we talk a lot about is being thought leaders in the industry. And while I wouldn't say that we're there yet as maybe a thought leader all the time, I think we're really good at being thought learners. And we talk about the impact of trade organizations, things like RFA, Renewable Fuel Nebraska, organizations along those lines where we're able to talk to our peers in the ethanol industry. It's something that I know I've benefited from a lot. And we're able to see what's worked best at other plants and then implement those changes in a customized way at our plants in Hastings and Lexington to be able to find a solution that's going to work best for our specific customized plant for the long term going forward. So I think those trade organizations have been really valuable to us for learning how to be a better ethanol plant.
So maybe with you and the whole commodities team, what role do you play in growing that Chief is looking for ways to improve and communicating out there and hearing what we need and yet speaking to that to the growers that are out there?
So I spend a lot of my day on the phone with farmers and producers alike, and taking what they know from other plants and then bringing it back is one of the ways that's been able to help kind of push where we need to go and help build what we need to do to make our plant competitive with other places.
Wayne, I know that we at Chief we're always recruiting for new employees to fill key roles. What's important for potential employees to know about the shift work and opportunities and just roles that we have currently available at the plant?
Sure. One of the things, and again, in every industry, every business is you've got, that some jobs are for some people or not for everybody, if you will. But to find a company like Chief that values people, it's in our mission statement that we want to treat all stakeholders, whether they're vendors, whether they're customers, especially employees, everybody, that Chief wants to be fair with everybody across the board. So as we look at that, that's our first step forward, is to make sure that they're going to be treated. There's a lot of terms that get thrown out there of team and family and things like that, but the reality is how does people feel, And so our job, our need is to try and accomplish that with everybody there. And as people see their role and what have you, there's just so many different things that people are good at, and not everybody can do every job. And it's impressive to me to see the guys who are out there in the middle of the plant doing the things they're doing and keeping the plant running, and they think nothing of it. And yet I'm impressed with what they do. And across the board, from the commodities team to our maintenance guys, our operations team, our loadout team, our engineering group, our administration group, we've got so many fantastic people that do this, and it's just fun to be part of that and to be able to work with a lot of talented, great people.
Bailey, I want to pull in your perspective here. You've been at Chief Ethanol for the longest of anybody at this table. So what is it about Chief that makes it a good place to work and build a career in agriculture and energy?
Yeah, it's a great place to work just because, like Wayne was talking about, it is teamwork. It is evolving to what your needs are and willingness to work with you based on what you've got going on in your personal life or your work life. And they're willing to work with you to help grow your work life and make you the best employee you can be.
So Brent, why is it important to recruit a dynamic, forward-looking team?
Well, I think obviously with all the initiatives we discussed, we're certainly a forward-looking company, and we can do all of the great projects and initiatives and changes that we want to do that involve new equipment. We can spend money on things, but none of that matters if you don't have people that are around to operate the equipment, operate efficiently, operate it well. And so for us as a company, it's very important that we're able to recruit talent that has that same mindset, forward-looking and what's going to be best for the long term at our plant.
I would agree. As you look at the people, they are our asset, our greatest asset. We're built on what we accomplish. I mean, you can have a lot of great facilities, a whole bunch of other things, but it's the people that make a difference. It's why you see sports teams, some succeed better than others, and it's the team, and it's not just it. Yes, leadership for sure, but it's also that group around that leader that matters greatly.
Well, and Chief's been around for a long time, so this kind of, I don't want to call it a facelift, it's more than that, but all these changes that we're making, what does that mean for our long-term success? How is that going to set us up well for the future?
Yeah, well, obviously we've got a lot that we're embracing right now in our modernization efforts, which is exciting. The big thing is that it was time at 40 40 plus years to reinvest in this plant, to take the next steps to make it more efficient. And as you look at the ethanol space, the commodities world, you're dealing with efficiency is king. And so we need to be efficient from every area, whether it's our logistic people, to our energy efficiency usage, to just everything that we have throughout the plant. So all these steps are taken forward to drive efficiency, and it'll allow us a lot of open doors as we go forward. Nobody's ever complained about being too efficient. So that's the goal that we're trying to accomplish there, and yet do it with a lot of great people. At the end of the day, you can have all this stuff to be efficient, but it takes people to execute on that. And that's, again, our greatest attribute.
So I think, everybody on this table is already excited about all the changes that are coming at Chief, but we can agree that whether it be from a producer's perspective or a prospective employee's perspective, there's a lot to look at with Chief both now and going forward in the ethanol division.
To learn more about our latest innovations here at Chief Ethanol, check out our website. The link is in the description.